Dude, not the dog ruining the song. I'm out here playing Dave Ramsey, and the dog comes out here and just starts
It's
barking.
not ruining the song. Your dog's adding just adding new lyrics.
Hey, you're right. You're right. All right, I appreciate you, William. Let me Dabo Network. I'm gonna shoot you a co-host invite right now. Let me know if you get it. Shooting it over right now. You should be getting it. And make sure all the speakers are on stage. It's gonna be a pretty cool conversation, guys. Welcome to Wolf 3. All right, I think we can get started here. Wow, that's crazy starting a space with Dave Ramsey, bro. That's wild. I feel like we should be getting copyrighted or something.
Hi, welcome to another Femex Twitter Space. I'm Kai, BD Manager at Femex. I'll be your host for today, and I'm very excited to have everyone here. And I'm sure this is going to be a valuable and insightful discussions on portfolio review and strategies, management, etc. Like there's a lot to dive in today. Um, Mainly, our goal for today is to dive deep into portfolio management, review some real portfolios, and share strategies that can help everyone here navigate the ever evolving world of the crypto landscape. And to do that, we've invited two incredible experts with us today. We've got AJ Writes Crypto, we've got Big Boy, or known as Ben Armstrong. I mean, Ben Armstrong is his real name. He's really well known as Bitboy. And then, of course, our CEO, Federico. So let's start with a very quick introduction from everyone. You can start, AJ, if you want to go ahead.
Yeah, sure. Thanks so much for having me. Really appreciate you guys. Big shout out to FEMEX and the FEMEX community. You guys are amazing. I'm just getting back in the swing of things. My first day back at the office since before Bitcoin Nashville. Actually, traveled a bit, got engaged, uh, went to Rare Evo, did my first speaking engagement at a conference. That was big. Kind of been running around like a chicken with my head cut off, but still have found time to, consistently DCA, been trading, been posting in my group, things like that. But just getting back into it, kind of working on more content, changing things up a little bit. But thanks so much for having me. Appreciate it.
Gosh, that's a lot happening like with you. Congratulations, by the way. I saw the pictures, really amazing. Thanks for the introduction.
Thank you.
Let's listen to Ben.
Right. Hey, guys. My name
Hey,
is.
Ben.
Hello. My name is Ben Armstrong. Some people call me the Bit Boy. A lot of people would tell me that they wanted to see me do. They wanted me to promote myself to Bitman, and I think Bitman just doesn't sound really cool. So we've upgraded. We are now known as the Bit Boy, and I have been around. I'm your favorite crypto OG's favorite crypto OG. I bought Bitcoin back in 2012. I've been in and out of trading and investing ever since, hard into altcoins in 2017, created my channel in 2018, and lost it in 2023, and probably going to get it back sometime during 2024. So we also have the BitBoy V2 channel on YouTube. We've got 121,000 subscribers. We just hit that. And thank you to everybody for listening. And thank you to FEMEX.
Wow, that's been a wild ride. I mean, you've been in the crypto space for a long time. Thank you for being here. And Federico, quick introduction.
Hey guys, this is Federico. I am the CEO of FEMEX. Thanks a lot to both Ben and AJ for joining us today. I think this is the probably third time we do this. Last time I remember the market looked a little bit more bullish, so I'm curious to see if people are still optimistic and whether something has changed in the way they allocate their portfolio. For sure, I think a lot of alts are down a lot since the last time we spoke. So I'm curious to see how people rebalance their portfolios.
Nice. Well, let's start. I guess speaking of which, I mean, Federico has mentioned like a bit on market sentiment. It's been a very interesting time, a lot of shifts with market sentiment. I'd love to know before we deep dive, because I see like we've got a comment already pinned on the on the post. So In one sentence, like, I'd love to get your take on what you're seeing in the market right now. What trends should we be paying attention to?
Was that for me?
AJ?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
I mean,
Oh yeah, totally.
just feel free to go ahead.
Yeah, so to be honest, trading conditions have not been optimal. I mean, Bitcoin has spent the past 13 days inside of a 7% range, except for like a couple wicks. So the better part of 2 weeks inside of a 7% range. So really, this is more of a time to react to the market instead of a time to predict the market. By react to the market, I personally have support resistance levels on Bitcoin at 61.8 and at 57.9, high 57s. And the break of that range that we've been in, for 2 weeks now, is going to be a sign of what is next to come. Even if you look at a lot of altcoin charts, there have been a few that have been putting in some slightly higher lows. But even if you kind of like zoom in a little bit, a lot of them have been sideways. It's been really choppy. Hopefully, we're starting some uptrends on coins like WIF, coins like Jasmy, coins like Aave. Aave is one that's been on my list here a lot lately. But right now, in terms of Bitcoin specifically, despite alt formation, I mean, alt could be starting a new uptrend, but they're currently still in a downtrend from really back from March, from the local high in a lot of the cases. So you can certainly still scalp trade longs inside of downtrends. You just have to be aware of the trend lines and where they're likely to turn around. But right now, my eyes are on those two Bitcoin levels I mentioned before, and we certainly want to see a break of the price action in the past 2 weeks.
That's a really good explanation of the what you think about the markets these days. So yeah, I guess, do you want to share something, Ben, about it before we
Sure.
dive into? Yeah, amazing.
Right. I think that AJ's in my building. We're only like 50 feet from each other, but I tend to agree with AJ on everything he's saying. So instead of just saying, "Hey, I agree with that," I would like to talk a little bit more about the macro, and I don't mean the macro financial environment. I mean the larger Bitcoin cycle that we're looking at here, other than what Bitcoin's going to do in the next few days or weeks. I think that really, we started out and we hit this all-time high. I actually predicted the Bitcoin had a good chance to hit an all-time high before the halving. I said that back in January. I laid out everything that was going to happen throughout the year. And I put events for every month. And I was dead on. I was almost exactly right until I said I thought Bitcoin would hit a new high in July, because I thought that we saw a compressed accumulation period in this bear market. It was 6 months shorter than the last accumulation period. And you can see it with the U shape that goes at the bottom of the market for at least the last few markets. And so I thought that if it hit all-time highs before the halving, that was going to mean that this was going to be a compressed cycle, and it was going to be a compressed pullback after the halving, and we would be running by July. We had a lot of events to back that up. We had the Bitcoin or the ETH ETF coming through. We had the ASI, Super Intelligence Alliance coin super launch. So you had a lot of stuff coming that looked like it was definitely going to be really, really bullish, and yet now that's definitely not the case. It definitely does not look like we started the full bull run before the halving. It looks like in 2019, we had a bull trap where Bitcoin went back up to 75% of its all-time high price and then plunged back down. And there were two Ponzi schemes, Plus Token and OneCoin. And those big giant Ponzi schemes in China made the price maybe stall out. Potentially, we might have hit a new all-time high before the last market, but before the last halving, excuse me. Maybe if some things had gone a little bit differently, because it was on a similar move to what we saw. So my point is now we've eliminated that possibility. That possibility is gone. A quick move after the halving is over. Now we have to look at two other possibilities. Number one, are we going to track along calendar month over month almost exactly what we did, or calendar month year over year, excuse me, almost exactly what we did in the last cycle? So for instance, Bitcoin really started kind of moving in September. November, it was really moving in 2020. And then it hit new all-time highs in December. right before Christmas. And so are we going to see that again, to where maybe this halving was 1 month earlier? So maybe we'll really start seeing Bitcoin moving in October instead of November, because a halving is usually like 3 years, 11 months, 3 years, 10 months, somewhere around there. So because of that, maybe it just shifted the timeline 1 month. And now there's another possibility is we're looking at kind of like some of the formations on the chart. There definitely is the possibility that maybe we're going to go down for the rest of this year, and we're not going to turn around maybe until January. Maybe in January the Fed will come out with rate cuts, or we'll already have had some rate cuts, or whatever. The economy might be moving in a certain direction, and maybe that could be the case. And people are starting to say maybe in January. But I'm starting to see a lot of people with that sentiment, and that leads me to believe that probably, most likely, I still think in Q4 of this year, starting in September, I think is when we're really going to start seeing things move.
I mean, to piggyback off what Ben said, I mean, what have I have said this whole time that the halving cycle, we can't assume it's going to break if it's never broken before. All right. And Ben even said on his show today that he thinks the halving cycle is going to play out again after this bull run, the next bear market, and the next bull run after that. And, that kind of puts us bull run 25, bull run 29. And until the halving cycle breaks, I'm not going to assume that it's going to. I have been consistent since I started doing price predictions in the price prediction department in the basement at Hit Network. I've said Q3, Q4, 2025 since 22, and I'm sticking to my guns. I mean, I think things could start to pick up Q4 this year. I mean, September, October have always been bullish months. I would like to see that repeat itself. I think we could start to see the wake up in Q4 of this year. I mean, certainly I think a lot of altcoins are at a really solid accumulation period point right now. I think a lot of people are always scared to pull the trigger when things get bad, but like these are the times where you really kind of got to zoom out and look at the past and say, and at all these times when you look back and say, oh, I wish I bought Cardano at this, or oh, I wish I bought Solana at that. I think the all I wish prices are in the range right now when you consider how far away a lot of altcoins are from their 2024 highs. If you look at the graph or Hedera or any of those coins that had a really strong run in March, and you measure from where we are now, for a lot of the coins, it's more than 100%, more than 150%, some of the cases more than 200% away from prices they saw this year. So obviously, do I for a lot of coins, I think March of this year might have been the 2024 high, but I don't think it'll be the 2025 high. I think just getting back to that level is step one. And certainly if you can accumulate far below that level, hence where we are now, this is certainly the time to continue to pack the bags, in my opinion.
Absolutely love the energy. I mean, it's very interesting to hear this, and I think it's very timely as well with our main topic for today: crypto portfolio reviews, building a portfolio accumulation, etc. So yeah, we've got the first portfolio here that's been shared. But again, to our audience, feel free to raise your hand or drop your question or your portfolio in the comment section. But when you want your portfolio to be reviewed, please, we need to receive the percent of tokens and then your expected X amount of return of investment. So in this way, we could, have a free flowing conversation. And of course, our experts here, we've got Ben, we've got AJ, who's very well seasoned in the market. I encourage you guys to jump in wherever you feel it's relevant. So again, let's begin with the first portfolio. So it's actually from a user called Frosty Divine. So percentages have been fluctuating quite a bit, and nearly everything has been held over a year. But as it stands today, I have 36% XRP, 25% HBAR, 16% Ondo, 10% Pi, 13% Algo, and he's looking for about an average of 18x. So he's mentioned as well base of averages of AJ's and Ben's price prediction videos. So do you mind talking about this, guys?
Yeah, I think this is a great
Sure.
portfolio. Yeah, I think this is a great portfolio.
Go ahead.
I'll start by giving my personal perspective on it. And you guys got to remember that, like, I have some coins that I'm kind of known for, and AJ has some coins that he's known for. And H bar is definitely a coin that is one of eight in AJ's wheelhouse there. So what I'm going to say is I think that's almost a perfect portfolio. I would say that I love Ondo. I love Pith. I think they're going to be absolutely phenomenal. Anything from Doro Labs, watch out for. Algo, another one of AJ's coins. And so for me personally, I would say I would swap out the H bar and Algo. I think they're good coins, but I would just some coins that I would be thinking about, in my opinion, is that I would be looking at Render. I'd be looking at Tau. I would be looking at projects that had massive, massive, massive run ups in the first part of this bull market, or the pre-halving run up, you could call it, and coins that have fallen tremendously. Like you said, some have fallen, a huge amount. Have to 2 or 3x just to get back to where they were. And so because of that, I think you've got to make room in your portfolio for some of the coins like that, some of the ones that had the massive rises. Because one thing about the Bitcoin market is that when you look at the bottom and it hit like around $48,000 or 48.5. I think that the whole point there is that was a number that pushed Bitcoin down far enough so that if it hits $140,000 to $150,000, that I do believe is the range it will hit, then that means those people have 3x, right, with Bitcoin. And now think about these altcoins. If that happens and Bitcoin goes to $150,000 and you have some of these altcoins that are 2 or 3x away just from where they hit in March, that shows you that those have potential to go much, much, much higher. Because who are the people that sold all those coins? Well, the people that sold them all were the people that were in early and were in those coins since like November or December or January, February. Those people made a lot of money. And you know who they sold them to? Most of you guys. They sold it to all the retail traders that came in late to these projects that they missed out on that first part of the bull run. And a lot of those people have held it down. So just because those coins are down a tremendous amount, it doesn't mean that people didn't make an F ton of money off of them, because they did. You, like AJ's saying, you just got to position yourself in the market earlier than the hype.
Yeah, fair. So my problem with this bag is that you're really putting all of your faith in XRP. And I'm not really trying to put all my faith into a coin that has been notoriously suppressed, intentionally suppressed. Do I think XRP has upside? Sure, it has upside. My personal portfolio has about 4 or 5% XRP. And why so little XRP from my camp? Well, we talked about, how far things are away from their 2024 high. Algorand is 150% away from its 2024 high. HBAR 237% away from its 2024 high. XRP 24% away from its 2024 high. So you see my point. I mean, not that I'm against XRP. I personally hold it. But 36%, the fate of your portfolio has everything to do with the performance of XRP. And if you're averaging what two people said and resting on an 18x, I don't see a world, honestly, don't see a world where XRP 18x's this bull run. And your whole portfolio is based off of that idea. I think in 18x for any portfolio, you're asking for a lot, and I don't want to see people 8x or 7x and not sell because they're waiting to 18x.
Well, I think if I could, AJ, if I could just step in for 1 second, I just want to make
Sure.
a comment on XRP there. I don't mind the 36%, but I definitely think you have some really good points, and people should take it into consideration. I think the whole thing is, it's just a little bit different, because the reason why XRP did not move is because of the suppression. And we've all been talking about the suppression of XRP since the peak in January 2018, but even more recently in perspective and context of the SEC lawsuit. The SEC lawsuit is now over, and it looks like there's a lot of potential for them not to appeal. And so the excuse of the suppression is gone now. So if you believed in XRP and you put a big amount in your portfolio, now that that is gone, now it's time to say, okay, are we holding Solana or are we holding ADA? Are we holding something that's going to outperform the market like we thought it was going to, or are we holding something that's going to underperform the market because it's losing relevance like ADA with its user numbers going down consistently or comparative to other blockchains? And in my opinion, I think XRP is a lot more like Solana. I think that now that the suppression is gone, I think you are going to see it move. But it is time to say, if we don't see it move by the end of this bull run, then I mean, at some point you may have to give up on it.
That's all fair, Ben. I'm with you on that. I'm just saying that, we're for, a $10 XRP just from 60 cents here is a 16x that would result in a $561.1 billion market cap. Man, I don't see a $10 XRP this bull run. It'd be nice, but I just think that there's so many other picks out there to diversify in. I think that this portfolio doesn't have enough picks because it's kind of weighed down. I agree with putting in some render. I certainly am all for, kind of looking out, for some AI type picks. I don't hate the bag, but you got, I agree with Ben in the respect that you have to make room for some coins that have more room to run.
Oh wow, that's a really interesting discussion about it, and I think it's very. What's very interesting is this user actually watches both your video, and I'm sure they find it valuable to hear your exact comments and what they currently have on their bags. So yeah, I saw something. You spoke about diversification. It's actually not in the pin comment, but someone mentioned rate my portfolio 100% ADA. So 100% Cardano. Like, well, what do you think about it?
I would have to give that probably a 10 out of 100. I just think that, look,
Yep.
I think, look, guys, Raoul Pal actually just came out recently and said, don't buy XRP, don't buy ADA. And I've been trying to tell people, like, look, XRP is not like ADA. ADA is not going anywhere, okay? The institutional numbers are abysmal, okay? XRP is an institutional product, okay, on the banking side. And I think that when you look at the stable coin that XRP is getting involved in, there's rumors that the XRP blockchain is involved in the BRICS Pay. I think that is going to turn out to be true. And a lot of things that people predicted about it are going to either be true or come true over the next few years. There's going to be a lot of stuff going there, okay? I believe XRP has enough going forward. ADA doesn't have. Here's the question I want to ask everybody. And this does not go to Cardano regular users, because Cardano regular users, they're going to know probably some of the answers to this. But what is the number one Cardano dApp? What is the Cardano dApp that people from other chains go to use? Like people know about, on Solana, they know about Jupiter, right? They know about, there's several things on Solana that people know about. There's tons of stuff on Ethereum, tons of dApps on Ethereum that people know about. There's dApps on a lot of chains that people know about. I would say the dApps on Sui they definitely have more users, but the dApps on Sui are more popular than any dApps on Cardano. Cardano, the Sunday Swap, they have an exchange that does some stuff, right? The fact is, a lot of the big things that were going to be on Cardano have moved to other blockchains because it's just too difficult to work with. And it's unfortunate, and I hate it, but when the institutions, look, Solana, I was looking at numbers the other day. I don't remember the exact numbers by the millions, but what I will tell you is Cardano had about, I think it was 2% the amount of users that Solana has. Like 2%. Like, think about it. The long play for the long roadmap, unfortunately, it just didn't work. It didn't work. It gave the other projects that were not going to be as technically superior, and it gave them reasons to make people want to invest in them more. And they did it. And our whole entire financial system, obviously, is smoke and mirrors. So, of course, there's a lot of smoke and mirrors in this game, too. And you can actually take a project that hasn't launched or done anything and put the price way above something that has launched, you know? So I just think personally that I think XRP is going to be in the conversation. I think ADA is just out of the conversation. And I think at this point, it doesn't mean it's not going to move. Of course, it's going to go up, as everything will go up in the bull market generally, but it's not going to outperform the market. How many people do you know that are not ADA fanboys that are excited about Cardano and the ADA chain? People don't even know what's on it. They got the SNEP meme coin. That's probably the best thing on Cardano, to be honest with you. And I'm really sad about this because I was really, really wrong about Cardano for many years and thought that the tortoise would be able to beat the hare. But the hares have got about 20 laps on the tortoise now.
Interesting. I actually bought Cardano like when I first knew about crypto, but I sold my bags early. Same with XRP. Like everyone in my Pulse group is actually commenting about me selling it, but I mean some wrong decisions, I guess. We've got one audience here called Crypto Trucker, so he's been already promoted as speaker, and he's shared his bags actually. It's been pinned as well, so we've got 200 ICP. His price is $6, 17,000 H bar, average price 0.045, 10 quant, average price 100, 1,500 Onzo, average price at $1.2, 1,500 of Pyth, 85 cents, 300 near price $2, 250 synthetics, average price 2.2, 150 render, average price 2.2. You can also talk about this crypto trucker and ask AJ and Ben and Federico by yourself, please. Okay.
We got to verify
Hello?
really fast. Do you mean 200
Hey,
ICPs or $200 in ICP?
hey guys, thank you. Hey AJ, hello Ben. Okay, so that's first of all, AJ, that's 200 ICPs. So I've been DCing. I have been listening to Ben ever since like 2021, and I still remember your very first day when you were on the show. I'm a trucker. I stay on the road most of the time, like 5 days a week. Every time I'm on the road, I'm like seeing your videos, like whenever you guys are live or whatever you guys are doing. I'm not even missing a one video of Ben. Okay, but that's that. Okay, other than that, I'll tell you a whole story, bro. The thing is, I have whatever I have put down there. That's my main bags. Other than that, I still got a little bit more in other things, and but yeah, that's my main portfolio, and yeah, that's about it. And I still got like 2 ETH on the side, and yeah, and I'll be honest, I have put down like $38,000. I have been in crypto since 2021. The thing was, I didn't sold it when it was on the top. I kept holding it, and my plan is to hold it until like 2025. In case if anything goes wrong, my wife doesn't know I have put down like $38,000. So we might get we might get divorced or something, but I don't know, man. Like that's just joking. But yeah, just tell me like what do you guys think about this one, man? Thank you. Also, I got one more thing. One last thing. Ben, if I make like more than $100,000 in next bull run, I promise, bro, I'm gonna put a picture of you at the back of my trailer.
Well,
That's about it. Thank you.
that's really great, man. I appreciate that. I hear there's a lot of people that have posters of me in the backs of their trailer, I think, but it might be a different kind of trailer. But I think that I would like to say, first of all, Crypto Trucker, thank you so much for all the support, and I appreciate it very much. And I think that I definitely relate to you on having some side bags, right? You have your main bags, and then you have your side bags. You can get rid of those a lot quicker and move it around, do different stuff with it. So I think that's a decent strategy. But I'm gonna let AJ go ahead. I took the last one, so I'm gonna let AJ go ahead and grade your portfolio on this one.
Yeah, sure, man. ICP, like it. HBAR, like it. Quant, I used to like it more. I think that they're really targeting like that developer, they're not like actively pushing like a lot of other projects with their marketing. But I still think that, I mean, if your average price is 100, I think you'll be fine. I still think it will perform. Ondo, I really like. Pyth, I really like. Yeah, so for the most part, I don't know, like when you say how many of each coin you have, it's tough because like I can't like add that up in my head and make the pie chart and see like which percentage of each and like how much the total is. That obviously next time you submit a portfolio, put the percentage breakdown and then like the goal. That makes it much easier for me. Um, but in terms of the coin selection, I mean, only having 5 picks, you're kind of taking a chance. I like to be a little bit more diversified. When I build portfolios on the channel, they tend to have 8 to 10 picks. My personal portfolio has like 12, like splash 13, 14, but the splashes are splashes. And that's important to remember. But all in all, I think your picks are good, man. I don't, there's not a pick in here that I hate, and that's good, and that's good. So, what do you think, Ben?
Yeah, I'd like to make one comment on something you said about the picks, because I was actually, when we first started, and Federico was speaking about, what if he thought that all coins would be good buys, or whether Bitcoin was, and I think you made some similar comments. I think having 5 coins in a portfolio right now is actually okay. I actually personally do not think this is the very best time to get in some of the riskier altcoins, like let's say outside of the top 100, which is where a lot of gains can come in down the road. I think that right now, having a small portfolio until the market really starts going, will have coins that will move. I think all those coins are coins that will move, and I think that is good for this time in the market. There is a time, certainly a 5 coin portfolio is not sexy, but I think a lot of those coins are probably going to pop before the smaller altcoins start running. So I think you could take some gains from that 5 and you could throw it into some meme coins like WIF. Not right now, it's up 18.7% or whatever. But I just mean like into some coins that are down similar to WIF. If Bonk was down or Pepe was down or some of these other coins were down. If Floki, it might be a good time to get in those. SHIB has been underperforming. I don't know if SHIB is going to get out of that underperformance, in my opinion. I think Dogecoin will probably perform well, but I don't think it'll hit new all-time highs. But I do think getting into some riskier plays as that portfolio grows would be a pretty good strategy.
Yeah, fair enough.
Thanks, guys, and thanks for Crypto Trucker again for sharing his portfolio. Really great story with this portfolio as well. For our next portfolio, we have from S Scale Steve. How do you? I couldn't read it, but S Scale Steve Traveler. So he's got a 35K portfolio, actually down like 60% since March. So in terms of percentage, he's got 8% Ondo, 8% Tau, 8% Pi, 7% Solana, 6% MPLX, 5% Sway, 5% AXL, 4.7% Near, 4.3 CKB, 4% Filecoin, 3.5% Render, 3.5% AVAX, 3.5% Injective, 3% Goldfinch, 3% Jupiter, 2.7 Akash, 2.29 IMX, 2% Aleph, 2% Aero, 1.55 ASI, and he's looking for a 10x. What's your thoughts? This is the last one, by the way.
Okay.
For anyone in our audience who is interested, in this type of conversations and topics, with our experts, please make sure to join again on the other one so we'll have enough time. So yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah, I think this is obviously a person that watches my channel because a lot of these are great coins. I think that I talk about a lot. I think Axel is one that is not one that I've talked about a lot, but when I did talk about it, I said very favorable things. We may actually be doing a promotional deal with Axel Air. I think it's a really cool project. And then, look, I mean, this is a really solid portfolio. You've got some really speculative ones with Goldfinch, Jupiter. I think that, Alf, I think you've got some really solid picks. I think Filecoin is going to have a big run. Render is. AVAX a solid pick. Injective. I just think you've got a really good portfolio. And I think that what I would say to you is you have a really good collection of coins that I've talked about that are going to have big upside in this bull run. And yes, they're down because we weren't expecting probably this long and far of a drawdown after the halving based upon the pre-halving excitement, which should have probably made us realize it, I guess, now that I'm really thinking about it. But I think that right now the best thing you can do is just stay patient with this portfolio. I think that it is going to do really well, and you've got a killer one here. I think, let's see, yeah, I don't see any meme coins. I'd say the same thing. Once you start getting profits, I might try to add a couple meme coins in there. But outside of that, I mean, I think Ondo and are we calling it, by the way, are we calling it Pyth? Is that what people are calling it? I've always called it Pith. I called it a Mike Tyson coin. You know, Pith and WeMix. Those are some Mike Tyson coins.
Like Python, Ben? Python?
You're
maybe?
sure though? Do we
Yeah.
know? Well,
Yep.
I'll tell you this. People told me that you pronounce Sui 100%. There were people that said you are saying it wrong. It is Sui because this YouTuber says it that way or this person says it that way. Cassie and I went to the Sui event at Consensus and talked to literally the top people in Sui, and they said, no, it is Sui. That means water in Japanese, and that's why we named one of our little Persian cats Sui. And also because Cassie loves him so much. But my point is that sometimes people definitely think they know the correct pronunciation, and the team sometimes is the only ones that do. And I may be wrong on this one. You may be correct. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that I really like to pronounce words correctly, and it would really bother me if I've been the biggest Pith advocate for this entire time and have been pronouncing it wrong. So
Oh,
that's
was it me?
That's great.
Well, yeah, I mean it's really great to hear about this portfolio and your thoughts. And I guess what's even more interesting is these people they watch your videos and listen to what you guys say. And surely this person Steve, is he called Steve? Like he's gonna be adding some meme coins into his portfolio, trying to look for the meme coin from your YouTube channels. So yeah,
Yeah.
I
So
guess
I want to put my 2 cents in on this portfolio really quick. Um, I don't like. I personally, most of the time, unless you are someone that has the kind of time on your hands to properly manage a 20 coin portfolio, I would say that it's probably not the best idea to have 20 coins. And there are the exception. There are people that can properly manage it. All right. So it's not a blanket statement, this is wrong. It's a how active can you be? How hard can you pay attention? Do you have the time? Do you have the bandwidth? Can you properly manage this portfolio? That's the question that I would ask anyone who wants to really step outside of like a 10 to 12 coin bag. All right. Because I always say anytime you bring a new coin into your portfolio, it's like adopting a new child. And that child needs time and affection and love. And what I mean by that, like putting time into, do you understand the tokenomics? Do you understand the team? Do you know their vesting schedule? Do you know if it's a cliff or is it a linear, like for the unlocks? What's the socials like for each project? You really got to take on each project and fully know the ins and outs for each project you decide to bring into the fray. All right. So, uh, mainly my point here is because w- coins just don't all, what happens is a lot of people is they will wait for the entire portfolio to get to one number, and I don't really think that's the best strategy because coins all behave differently. They're all going to, they're not all going to hit the top on the same day. And that's assuming that we are good enough to sell the top, which most people aren't. I always say if there's a 20% move and you can get 8% of it, you did great. So anytime you're taking on this much, just make sure you're hyper aware of the exit strategy for each individual coin. And other than that, I don't mind the picks. I don't mind the breakdowns. There's nothing that I hate. I think I like that it's a fairly even distribution, to be honest. And but just be aware that with a 20 coin bag you have a lot of responsibility, and just be aware of that.
Great advice, really great advice. So that's our three portfolio review for today. And I think everything was well explained. The advices were given, recommendations as well were given. So thank you so much to AJ and Ben for that. And just for everyone's attention and for you to be aware, at Femex, actually, we have released the basket order. So you can now easily have simplified trading, customizable allocation, and of course, effortless execution. It will definitely elevate your strategy, especially with the accumulation part. And then the second one that might be helpful for this portfolio building is our multiple watch list. So it's one of the newer features that we have released. And again, if you're trading with AJ and Ben on Femex, please make sure to check that, so that might help you in your portfolio management. So that's it for today. Thank you so much, everyone, and see you soon on the next one.
For sure. I just want to
Make
say
sure.
really
Mm-hmm,
fast, next week,
mm-hmm.
I'll be putting a video out on my YouTube channel where I'm going to build a $10,000 portfolio from scratch on Femex. So make sure you keep an eye out for that video next
Yeah,
week.
guys, and I have a big announcement. I'm going to be doing a $10,001 portfolio on Femex. Thank you, guys. Bye.
I'll be building a $1 million portfolio on Femex. Oh, yeah, I already have one. That's right. My bad.
Oh, God. Yeah, so guys, again, please make sure to follow us, join the next one, follow our partners, and yeah, stay tuned. Thank you so much and have a good day.
Thank you,
Thank you,
everybody.
guys. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Yeah, just like Cade and you said, Benny. I mean, that's the issue with these with when you involve real money in real situations, and we've seen it many times in like Web3 gaming. Just to give an example, is like you give these like kind of real world rewards, and then you incentivize people to like kind of like cheat a bit or like skirt the system, and it's so tough to avoid something like data spoofing, and you have to really find ways to either heavily de-incentivize it or just outright wring it out, and and like there's no one solution that fits all, of course. I saw Alex, Mr. Demo Man himself, put his hand up. Alex, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, there's a couple of things. So one, we have a roadmap item probably for early 2025 that will get this out the door, but we intend to decentralize the ability to validate data coming in to Demo. Right now, of course, the core team, we've built some heuristics and things like that to find potentially fake cars or people who are just not really participating, trying to game and earn tokens and things like that. But there's nothing that says we need to run that ourselves. In fact, it's better if more people can contribute their algorithms for detecting some of that. I think that that's something. I know that a couple of other DePIN teams are taking a similar approach to that, and I think that that's going to be a really useful way for those for DePIN projects to kind of involve the community, but also to strengthen the community. And then something that we've talked about for years is just more composability between DePIN projects. We already, of course, use and have shown how we can use Demo devices to to detect where helium hotspots are. We've very easily actually sent a few months ago to the helium team. We were able to send them some data showing some potentially fake hotspots. As you layer on more pieces of connectivity between these DePIN projects, you're going to start to see that the infrastructure can become self-referential. And then third is very similar to the point the last speaker was making. We can all leverage other pieces of existing technology in order to better validate things that are coming in. So just because it's not built in a decentralized way, it's not some new decentralized service, doesn't mean we can't measure the trust that a new piece of data conveys. For example, when we want to be, absolutely sure we're talking about the same car, one measure is to connect to the car, another measure is to get to the car's insurance, another measure is to get to the title of the car. All of those can be different APIs, different services. And the more data points that you have about the car, the more certain you are about its identity, about its ownership, about its history, and things like that. So there's a handful of ways that we're going to see validation evolve. And at the end of the day, since the beginning, blockchains have been selling trust, and so we're all having to invest heavily in that.
No, well said, Alex. I can vouch that I've owned my car for 8 years, and I wish I hadn't because I hate my car. But I mean, Demo's made me love my car a bit more. But but Hotspotty, sorry, Benny, I saw you on mute. Go ahead, and then we'll go to Hotspotty after Benny.
Yeah, just to add on to like Alex and what he just brought up about like demo products being able to kind of like work with like Helium products to point out hotspots that aren't really there but claiming to be there. That's a great feature for demo that I didn't even like, kind of like building on similar to like what Pollen tried to do, but adding like with Pollen it's a little bit harder just to have people like buying a device just to check if a device is there, but even kind of like incorporating other deepen projects, I can see that being a big thing to add value towards checking for all that and making sure that like the Helium hotspots aren't there, if that makes sense.
No, 100%. Hotspotty,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think that one thing that Alex said that I was going to say as well is that the composability is super important, right? So the more different networks that you work and interact with, people are not going to, like, if people try to hack, or take advantage of a daemon, most likely they're not going to also try to take advantage of like a Helium device at the same time. So I think the composability is something that on DPINs in general are super important and can add a ton of value. And also it's been super interesting, just following the fight with Helium against the scammers or like the people trying to take advantage of the network. In the beginning, you could just have 20 Helium hotspots in the room, and they're all going to be talking to each other, making a shit ton of rewards. And then slowly they build the proof of coverage, right? And yeah, each different project is going to have their own kind of like solution or like staking, slashing, and things like that. But one thing that I'm very happy that we're working on, and I could share with you guys, is something that we call in Deepin Score that's being built now on Deepin Hub. So the idea is that one big problem that we see on crypto in general, especially with it's airdrop farmers. People like they break something, they connect their wallets, they take the airdrops, they move to the next project, they add zero value to that project. And if you think you are a project, your token is actually equity of your company, which is just giving away for people who give a zero fucks for about your project. Forget my French. So one thing that we realized, like by building Hotspotty, we had already, I think it was like around 30,000 Solana wallets that we knew the device, we knew the wallet, we knew the owner, and then therefore we can actually prove that that guy has done the work. His hotspot's been online. So projects came to us like, okay, I need some supply in this part of the world, and then we can work together and build this kind of like a marketplace between, like, we can prove on chain that user deployed a hotspot and it's been online, generate rewards. And if you add this to a lot of different projects, we're building something called Deepin Score, which we can fight like Sybil attack on the airdrops. Instead of like someone running like a Galaxy campaign to like someone tweet something, like something, connect their wallet here, they're gonna have to proof of being a good, I call it like a Deepin citizen. Because imagine if you have a demo device has been online, you've been mapping Hive Map, where you have a Helium hotspot, it's been online for a long time, and everything's connected to your Polygon wallet, your Solana wallet inside of Deepin Hub, and based on that, it's going to give you like a score, and that's going to be really helping the whole network, right? And it's going to help also combat a lot of the scammers, a lot of people trying to cheat the network. We're going to be working with all these projects as well and providing data for those projects, and hopefully we can kind of like be the aggregator, on-chain and off-chain aggregator for a lot of projects, and try to make the network like better and actually giving the rewards for people actually doing the work.
So let me get this straight, Hotspotty. You're going to be grading people, like they're gonna have like a kind of grade, like it. I just want to clarify.
Yeah, I mean, so just think like that. Like you create an account on Deepin Hub, you attach your Ethereum wallet and your Solana wallet, and we're gonna do on-chain analysis of those wallets. And based on like Deepin projects that we work closely with, we're gonna try to, okay, are you a good Deepin citizen, right? Do you have like 3 demo devices, a Helium hotspot? And based on like how good of like a Deepin citizen you are, we're gonna give you like, first we can give you opportunities in space. Let's say if we do like a launchpad, it's much more important for a project doing a launchpad to get users that actually understand Deepin and have on-chain proof that they deployed those devices, than actually just some random people that just like you pay some tokens to be listed on CoinList or something like that.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I was gonna say I've never been a really good student, so I got really concerned when you mentioned grades, and I was like, wait a minute, like I've usually gotten like D's and C's back in the day in high school and like early college, and I got really concerned when you said I could get graded on my DPIN activities. So hopefully I passed those grades. Anyways, Benny, I saw your hand go up, man. Sorry to talk about my educational history here.
No, you're good. Honestly, what Hotspot is doing is kind of, I think, already been approached with some blockchain projects and making sure that like wallets are actually like legit or they have some sort of usage and they're not just kind of like bot wallets or just using that as a way to make sure that people that are participating in events or airdrops or whatnot are actually real people and not just creating fake accounts or whatnot. So I could definitely see that being something that works. And like I said, just combining that with like what Alex talked and kind of like building on these solutions as a whole DePIN ecosystem. I feel like eventually we'll get to a point where these you're not going to have it as much. But I think also one point I wanted to talk about that was kind of mentioned earlier was like how like a lot of these DePIN projects are actually kind of like focused on real revenues and actually like generating like usage or like monetization opposed to a lot of like blockchains where they stay like more speculative or even for example a lot of tokens aren't really directly tied towards like the revenue. And I think a lot of these issues are like bigger issues at the beginning of like the when the network's being created and where like kind of like a lot of the token is used to kind of like incentivize the bootstrapping of the network. But as like these networks grow and they become more driven by like revenues and actual like usage and less by tokens, like it becomes less of a problem and you'll see kind of like those players being weeded out and it becoming not as profitable for them to do, right? Like with Helium now, for example, it doesn't really it like I guess to a certain degree, depending on hacking it, but even like your time that you need to do to like kind of like break the system and the amount of tokens you're gonna get becomes less and less profitable for you to do as the network grows and actually is driven by like the actual usage and revenues towards a product, right? So I think it's just early on in these days and kind of like combining all these solutions and as the network grow, that type of issue will be weeded out, right?
Yeah, definitely over
Yeah, I
time. Oh,
mean,
Hotspot, go ahead.
no, yeah, I'm just saying like yeah, like right now it's not super profitable to run the Helium hotspots or like especially IoT ones that a lot of people just turn them off, right? But for some reason that thing that momentum start to catch up again. When there's free money, people are gonna try to scam. Like I remember, like Helium has a thing like it's called Helium Console that actually you can deploy sensors into the network, and I think like you create an account, and by creating an account, you verify the account, you get like I don't know 10 cents or something like 5 cents that you can actually use to test the network. People created like 100,000 accounts just to get I don't know $50, $100, and they just like destroyed the Helium service for a little bit until they fix it. So like when there's money, people are gonna try to find a way. So it's always like a cat and mouse situation.
Yeah, I agree. And like it really depends too, right? Like because with crypto, you're dealing with like a global group of people, and for some people, $50 might be like worth a lot more to them, depending where they're at, right? So there's always like incentives to like kind of like hack the system or whatnot. But yeah, just in case I have to hop off because I do have like another meeting soon. I do appreciate like everything you guys have done so far, and convos have been good, and kind of just like I said, like DePIN. I don't think it's going to be the next 2 to 3 years, like a lot of people mentioned, but I think in the next like 5 to 10 years, we'll see a lot of like DePIN projects that come emerging out, and we're definitely going to see like a lot of industries changed or kind of like incorporating DePIN. Even on the telecom space, we're talking with like a lot of telecom operators right now who find it too difficult on the capex side of things to maintain like the radio installs with how fast technology is moving and whatnot, and they're seriously considering like DePIN as a way to kind of like help build out their networks and in areas where like they haven't been able to like maintain or even get to it. So I think in the next 5 to 10 years, like a lot of people said, one, DePIN's going to really like explode, but two, like you're not going to even really realize that you're running on these DePIN networks. They're just going to be there, and you're just going to be using it, and it's going to be seamless, right?
That's the future and that's the hope right there, Benny. I understand that we're coming to the top of the hour here, and I believe that we have a hard stop here at 4 o'clock, or 4 p.m. EST. So I want to start kind of moving into closing remarks here. Kay, did you want to start us? Did you want to kind of pick someone random or start us off, or how do you want to go about doing this?
Yeah, I was gonna say we could even do hands. Like I know some of the speakers haven't spoken as much in the last second half of the space, but I do want to say first, just before, if I don't get a chance after that, it's been an awesome conversation. Like I've 2x my knowledge on deep pins in one space. So you guys are an amazing panel. Like seriously, thank you so much for spending an hour with us. And yeah, just please, guys, if you're listening to the space, definitely give a follow to all the speakers on stage here. We've had William up here doing an amazing job. Helping co-host, of course, Dabin Network, our sponsor of the show. Lady Trader, Andy, Gabe, Hotspotty, Alex, Benny, and we had a few other people who are in the space. Definitely give them all a follow and check out what they're up to. I'm sure they're doing deep pins along with a few other things. But they're absolutely killing it. And if you enjoyed the space so far, please give a retweet. Bottom right corner, just take a couple seconds and hit the retweet button for us. It would be tremendously helpful. And especially for people who couldn't tune in live. It's really the only way they're going to find out. Otherwise, it's just going to get buried amongst the other Twitter drama here. And so I do want to say a quick thank you to our sponsors. Then I'll throw it over to Hotspotty for a final comment here. But yeah, man, this has been a great space, and big shout out to Dabin Network for sponsoring the show. Like I said, they've had some cool investors like Multicoin Capital, Borderless Capital, Y Combinator. So big names, for sure, and they're doing a great job, putting out decentralized internet service, revolutionizing connectivity in India. Powered by blockchain. They're offering really, really fast, affordable internet network without the need for traditional ISPs. And with their deepen model, users can benefit from lower costs, higher speeds, scamless, secure connections. And right now they have their season 2 out. I pinned this up at the top for people who want to get involved. And when you do this and you've kind of got your own hotspot, they take care of a lot of the shoulder work as far as setting it up and maintaining. So yeah, definitely give them a follow, check out what they're up to, and get involved and grab one of those if that's of interest to you. Hotspotty, I'll throw it over to you for the final comment in the space, man.
Yeah, I just want to say thanks so much for organizing this. It was a lot of fun, But one thing that I would like to just quick plug again is make sure that everyone that's interested in deeping to check revolution.deepinhub.io. We're gonna have over 35 founders from talking about the project, giving the opportunity to people. You're gonna have HiveMapper, you're gonna have Demo, we're gonna have Daba, and a shit ton more people out there. So make sure to join. It's gonna be a pretty cool event. It's gonna be 10 hours for 3 days, so 30 hours in total of content. It's going to be, there's I think a lot of airdrops, and I'm not sure, but it's going to be a lot of cool things. It's going to be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday now this week. So make sure to join, and yeah, let's build this thing.
Let's go. All right. Yeah. Thank you so much, everybody. Have an amazing rest of your Wednesday. We've got spaces every single day here at Wolf Web 3. Got actually a couple more today. We've got a space at 7 p.m. Eastern, market talk, crypto trading type of space. And then tomorrow we've got some awesome spaces, including RWAs, another market talk space, Bitcoin mining stocks. And so, yeah, whole lot of stuff here coming up at Wolf Web 3. We'll see you all later. Take care.
Bye, guys. Peace.